Hello, YouTube. The next Old Testament prophecy cited in the New Testament is from Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Now, he's quoting from Micah chapter 5, verse 2, which reads, "But you, O Bethlehem of Ephrathah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from of old, from ancient days." Now, it seems that there's been a couple of textual changes in the citation in Matthew, as well as a redaction. Matthew refers to Bethlehem in the land of Judah. It's referring to Bethlehem as a physical place, where Micah is referring to Bethlehem as a clan of people. And there are a couple different places in the Old Testament where Bethlehem is referred to as a clan of people. I'll give a couple examples. This is from 1 Samuel 16:1 and 17:12. "The Lord said to Samuel, 'How long will you grieve over Saul? I have rejected him from being king over Israel. Fill your horn with oil and set out. I will send to you Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided for myself a king among his sons.'" Now David was the son of an Ephrathite of Bethlehem in Judah, named Jesse, who had 8 sons. In the days of Saul, the man was already old and advanced in years. So, Bethlehem is referring to a people, not to a place. The next textual change was Matthew mentions that Bethlehem is by no means least among the rulers of Judah, where Micah refers to it being one of the little clans of Judah. Not exactly sure why that change was made. And the next textual change is Matthew says that a ruler will come from there who is to shepherd my people Israel, where Micah doesn't refer to shepherding at all. It only refers to a ruler. And the redaction that happens here is the second part of verse 2, which says, "Whose origin is from of old, from ancient days." Now, you can see why it may have been redacted, because the Orthodox Christian belief is that Jesus is eternally coexistent and of one substance with the Father. So if his origin was going to be from ancient days, that might cause a problem. And some more conservative translations of the Bible, like the New King James Version, they decided to translate ancient days as everlasting. Why would they do that? Now, I've taken a look at Micah 5:2 in the Hebrew, and I found a couple of other verses in the Old Testament that use the exact same words that even a translation like the New King James translates correctly. This is Micah 7:14. "Shepherd your people with your staff, the flock of your heritage, who dwell solitarily in a woodland in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in days of old. And Amos 9:11. On that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and repair its damages. I will raise up its ruins and rebuild it as in the days of old. There it refers to days of old. And also the Septuagint, which Matthew may have been using for citations, doesn't fare much better. So this is how Micah 5:2 reads in the translation from the Greek. And you, O Bethlehem, house of Ephrathah, are very few in number to be among the thousands of Judah. One from you shall come forth for me to become a ruler in Israel, and his goings forth are from of old, from days of yore. So I think we have a reason why that may have been left out. But on top of all that, let's read through a little bit of the rest of chapter 5 in Micah. I'm going to go through verses 3 through 9. Therefore, he shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has brought forth. Then the rest of his kindred shall return to the people of Israel. And he shall stand and feed his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall live secure, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be the one of peace. If the Assyrians come into our land and tread upon our soil, we will raise against them 7 shepherds and 8 installed as rulers. They shall rule the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod with the drawn sword. They shall rescue us from the Assyrians if they come into our land or tread within our border. Then the remnant of Jacob, surrounded by many peoples, shall be like dew from the Lord, like showers on the grass, which do not depend upon people or wait for any mortal. And among the nations the remnant of Jacob, surrounded by many peoples, shall be like a lion among the animals of the forest, like a young lion among the flocks of sheep, which, when it goes through, treads down and tears in pieces, with no one to deliver. Your hand shall be lifted up over your adversaries, and your enemies shall be cut off. So there are other specific things which are mentioned are going to take place when this one comes forth from Bethlehem of Ephrathah. How about verse 3? The rest of his kindred shall return to the people of Israel. Has that happened? In verse 6, ruling the land of Assyria with the sword. Has that happened? In verse 9, all your enemies shall be cut off. Has that happened? If those things haven't happened, and the Messiah hasn't come from the clan mentioned in Micah 5:2, rather than a place, why is it being used in Matthew in this way?